Hey guys, my name is Dave Parker, and today we're going to be installing our Starlink mobility, and today we're going to compare the mobility to the residential side by side for speed, and we're going to then take this trailer and move it around and see how it does in motion. We'll just simulate you being in the back of the truck. And then stay tuned till the end of the video and we'll give you our opinion on whether or not we feel that the additional cost, speed, monthly cost, and initial install equipment cost is worth it. So we took and used some 1/8" gauge, 1.5" aluminum. We built a little bracket here for the front of the trailer and extended it out the front. So it's pretty solid, pretty sturdy. It installs on this little angle. And you know, this new flat panel, they have this flat panel tracking where it's a phased array of alignment. So rather than the dish moving, they do it electronically. And then there's a slight tilt, and we think they want that toward the front of the vehicle, and we think that so that the satellite, this receiver, can anticipate easier the satellites that you're moving into. If you look at the lights behind me and around in the shop and think about those as the satellites that are orbiting, if it was turned just flat to the roof of the vehicle, it wouldn't give a preference to the one slightly ahead of the vehicle. So we think that's why they do that. And then if you're mounting this on the roof of your vehicle, we measure from here to here, and it's about 5, nearly 6 inches. All of our trailers are 13 feet, 6 inches high. And so if we do 14 feet, if you're under a bridge, or like some of our doors here in our shop are exactly at 14 feet. So we had to go ahead and just move it out here to the front of the trailer to allow that the total height of it is the same height as the top of the trailer. So all the satellites that are, you know, skewing from that low angle or this angle, you know, they won't have any trouble getting to it. So we had to put it to the front. So one thing on the installation, everything was pretty straightforward. The Starlink people gave you thread locker, which they recommend using, which we did. We did all stainless hardware with aluminum. But this little gadget right here, you have to actually cut this hole. And you know, it wasn't intuitive to me, but they just send you 2 little brass tubes, and I used a smaller one, chucked it up in the drill, and that's what we cut the hole with. That's not really clear in the instructions. I mean, maybe it is for you guys, but it wasn't really for me. Then you'll notice that I drilled some holes and zip tied this stuff down. The reason I did the wire like this was to allow a drip loop, so that if any of the water was wicking down here, it won't try to wick inside. Although this was a pretty nice weather sealing device, had a grommet in the back, this rubber ring, it all went together and worked out pretty good. All right guys, so we moved inside. We went ahead and mounted. This is the power supply for the mobile in-motion dish. And then this is the router that you guys are familiar with. They sent these nice wall mounts and we've been able to utilize them. And then you'll see right here, they include in the mobile mount the cord that gives you the Ethernet out. So we just have that temporary there. But I thought you'd like to see how we have the install finished up. So we have the unit outside, tilted slightly forward, mounted level just ahead of the trailer because of the height. What we're gonna do for you on this video, we have a Starlink original. It's an RV setup. It's the same exact hardware if you have the home version, but we still have it set up for RV. On the old unit, it's called RV, but that doesn't mean that it can be used in motion. That just simply means that you can go from place to place, deploy the unit outside, let it find its satellites, and then you can utilize it. You can't mount it to your vehicle and let it go in motion. Now, I know that in the past you've seen it on some YouTube channels and whatnot, where people are doing that on boats and different things and it's working. But to my understanding, they've fixed it where it doesn't work like that anymore. So now we have the mobile in motion on this trailer. So what that allows us to do is we have all this rack of gear. So now we're gonna have network on the go. Now in the past, utilizing this cradle point modem, we had network on the go, but now we have Starlink on the go, we have the cellular backup on the go, and it just gives us a lot more flexibility. One of the things we like about having the mobile or the fixed mount is that once we arrive into camp, it's just one less thing we have to set up. Previously, we would have to set up the Starlink and run the wires and run the cable inside and out, and now this is permanently installed, so we have the flexibility that the crews can just go straight to work without having to actually deploy the Starlink. It's already up and running. These tests that we're about to do using the RV original Starlink and the mobile large panel in motion Starlink is we're going to use an iPhone 15, this iPhone 15, and we're going to do both tests at about the same distance from each of the routers. Now we're doing this at midnight or 1 a.m. on the East Coast where there's not a lot of activity. So this will be the best speeds you'd ever see on both platforms. Starlink has its own speed test, and then there's a standard app, starts with an O, y'all all know it. So we're gonna do both speed tests. We're gonna do the one that's kind of independent of the Starlink app on the phone, and then we're gonna do the Starlink app, and we're gonna do it for both the RV and the InMotion commercial. All right, so in our first speed test, this is the RV, and you were seeing 20, 30, and again, these are the kind of speeds that we see at night. Typically we would see about 40 during the day on that one. Okay, this is the Starlink version of the same test. As you can see, you get a little bit better performance. Starlink's a little bit more, I guess, aggressive or ambitious on their numbers. 50, 60 megabits per second. Okay, so now we're going to show you the speed test on the phone of the new Starlink, the commercial InMotion mobile platform, and we're seeing like 150, 160. And again, we're going to remind you this is at like actually nearly 2 a.m. so there's probably not a lot going on the East Coast. So there's 165 down, and we're seeing like 20 to 21 up. So you know, that's about twice what we're seeing off the RV performance of the smaller dish. So now we're going to move over and we're going to look at the Starlink version. Oh wow, look at that. 185 down, 180 down, 182 down. So again, Starlink app 183 down, and the Starlink app up 20 to 21 up. So it's about half, which is about kind of what is advertised and what we're expecting. I think we've got the 50 gig unlimited package for the Starlink right now on the commercial side, and then mine has the only package you can buy for the RV. Now if you were to go with the home version on the same equipment that's the RV, I think they guarantee a little bit better, more performance, because during the day they rate limit the RV one, but I think the speeds that we're getting is pretty indicative of what you see on the home version. And now we're going to have a little fun, and we're going to do the InMotion test and see how that works out. So we're currently inside. In case you guys have never picked up on one of our videos, we'd encourage you to go watch it. But we're in what we call a sleeping trailer. It's a converted 53-foot refrigerated trailer. We have onboard generation and we have onboard inverter system, and so we're going to actually drive it down the road, and we're going to see how the Starlink does in motion. So come join us for that. All right guys, so now we're going to go take the mobile InMotion dish out for a spin. So I've got Steven sitting over here with me, and he's got the app up, and we're
still connected.
We're doing a connection. Now, we're connected through basically a Faraday cage. A refrigerated trailer has an aluminum skin all the way around it, floor, ceiling, side, walls, everything. And there's only one door cut in it. And now we're sitting inside a semi-truck, and it has aluminum wrapped all the way around it. But you're still connected, right, Steven?
Yep, still online, and if I run a speed test.
Now remember guys, the speed test is going to be pretty slow because we are between all these metal walls, and we're just kind of demonstrating that we're in motion and we're not dropping packets and that we've got good connectivity.
And we can run it through the speed test app and try that out. Our ping is way up, but we're still connected. And if I move a little bit closer, you can see we're getting about 4.5 down right now. So not terrible.
Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, Steven, I mean, we're not really getting a real accurate representation of what it's doing. Right. Let's just put you in the back of the truck.
What?
Yeah, well, just settle down. We'll just simulate you being in the back of the truck. We really won't put you in the back of the truck, but the truck will be moving, and then we'll get a more accurate representation of the speed test, because now we're losing so much in the Wi-Fi connectivity piece. And you know, it's after midnight. We'll just pretend like you're in the back and just put your phone back there and you run back and forth, okay? So that way we can get a real accurate representation of what's going on.
Why are you saying simulated if I'm actually going to be in the back of the truck?
Well, because simulated is like if your mom sees this video, it could be simulated. because we would never do anything that's dangerous.
I'm okay, Mom. Hey, if you're seeing this video, Mom, that means I made it back and I was able to edit it, so I'm okay.
Exactly.
All right, wish me luck.
Good luck.
We can park in the turning lane and get you something to eat.
Hey, I would not complain about that.
Is everything back there squeaking and rattling?
A little bit.
Yeah, I figured it would.
Hey, I've got like 195 right now.
Really?
All right, I'm at 199, 200.
Wow. And just for a point of reference, we're going 40 miles an hour.
Oh, that's cool.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have thought it'd been that good. Railroad track.
Yeah.
Do you get motion sickness?
Nah, because I can see outside the window.
Yeah. I can't believe how well it works in motion.
Well, our impressions after getting the system installed, pretty amazing. You know, now we tested it at like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. and we were seeing speeds that were like, what, 200 down, Stephen, and 20 up. So pretty good speeds. The RV one at this time of night was doing a little bit less than half of what the mobile in-motion commercial. Pretty impressed. I like the fact that once we get in the theater, once we get to camp, it's already set up. I like the fact that we're going to have the capacity to have network as we're going down the road. So another thing is you know, you could put this on your RV if you have a bus or a RV like a Class A, Class C that you can ride inside while you're going down the road. This is probably a good solution, a good backup solution. Your primary solution is always going to be your cell phone, but if you were in an area where there's no cell phone coverage, I mean, this thing, it worked really well. I mean, we just did a little 10-mile route and saw pretty good performance. But I think just like everything is a compromise and a trade-off. For us going into a hurricane where there's no internet, where there's no cellular service and no internet, this is going to be ideal. So I think, you know, the world is still a two-tiered approach where you have LTE or 5G and then have this as a backup or vice versa, kind of the way we are. But super impressive. You know, like if you want to put it on your RV, I'm contemplating putting it on my coach as the primary in-motion satellite TV platform compared to what I have now. Pretty impressive, I must say. It's way better than I thought it would be. Appreciate you guys watching this video. I know there's a lot of questions that we probably didn't get to or something specific. Our channel is still small enough. We try to answer each and every one of them. So if you have a question about the installation, the mounting, maybe if this is right for your RV or something, you probably have the same question a lot of other folks have. You know, share this with your friends or your neighbors that are contemplating this, and we'll try to answer every comment. So like, subscribe, refer it, send it off to a friend of yours, whatever you'd like to do. We appreciate you watching.